All right. Hi, guys. First time we're doing this, but welcome to the Sweetlax Fall Recap. We're hoping to do a lot more things like this moving forward. I think it enables us to connect all the players and all the coaches that we have from around the state. We'll probably do a lot more of this in the lead up to tournaments too. I think we can do it team by team and just organize lineups and review different sets, philosophies, plays, and everything else like that. And getting ready for tonight, one of the things that I was looking at was what service do we want to use, and to host this webinar or webcast, if you will. It's a little bit more of a webcast because it's not it's going to be more me talking and going over things than it is going to be interactive. But you should be able to see maybe in the bottom right part of your screen an area where you can chat and ask questions. So there'll be parts of this evening's talk where you're actually able to ask me some questions, but it would be more through a chat. If you see on the bottom right part of your screen a little spot where you can leave a message, you can just send a quick one right now and text that to me. But I want to start by thanking you and your parents for being part of Sweetlax. We feel like this fall season went really well, and are excited to get you guys all ready to, for what we think is going to be the best summer we've ever had here at Sweetlax, Florida. So really proud of the performance, from our 2020 team all the way down to our 2026 team. And what you see at Sweetlax is, a progression of improvement steadily from the younger players all the way up through the high school players. What we want you guys to be doing is peaking and becoming the best players you're capable of becoming by the time you get into high school and become, at that critical recruitable age. I think most of you all have dreams of playing college lacrosse, and that's, the primary mission of Sweetlax is to help you become the best player you're capable of becoming, so that by the time you get to high school, you're in a situation where you can put yourself in a position to go to the schools that you want to go to and play lacrosse at the highest possible level that you can, and ultimately go to the best schools that you can to prepare you for when you graduate college. So I want to start with going over something that I feel like I personally learned this fall coaching at Sweetlax. I coached two teams. I kind of watched all the teams and coached the coaches and were involved in a lot of teams. But the two teams that I directly coached were the 2024 team and the 2021 team. So a pretty big age gap there from 7th grade to sophomore in high school. And what I was clearly evident to me was that the fundamentals of the game and the things that are most important and the things that I want to go over tonight are pretty much going to be the same for the 2024 age group and the 2021 age group. I kind of felt like in breaking up this webinar that I should do the younger half of our age groups first and then the older half second. And as I prepared some notes and got organized and reflected on my experiences coaching the 2024 team and the 2021 team, I feel like the things that I wanted to talk about were almost identically the same in terms of just fundamentals of creating good space on offense, playing really good team defense, riding, clearing, understanding how to attack and defend the angles of the goal. These are all things that I felt like, whether we're talking about boys that are in the 2021 or 20 class that are in their prime of their recruiting years, or whether we're talking about 7th graders on the 20 and 6th graders on the 2024 team, same exact agenda for tonight's call. So before I get started, I mean, if those of you that watched the national championship game this year when Yale won that game, and Andy Shea, head coach at Yale, is getting interviewed at the end of the game, and Paul Carcaterra is asking him about what he did with his team and to get them ready and why they played so well throughout the NCAA tournament. He his response was, as he was basically in tears of joy winning that game, was fundamentals. We just played really fundamentally sound. And the things that we're going to go over tonight are going to be fundamentals, principles, not plays. They're going to be things that are just incredibly important that at times we're not doing well with players that we have that are going off to play at Notre Dame, Duke, Georgetown, the top players at in our Sweetlax program, things that they can do better at times, and certainly our younger players can do better at times. So the first thing I want to go over is explaining angles of the goal that I think we can, certainly do a much better job of understanding. Before I do that, I just want to check and make sure that technology looks good here and that everybody looks like they're in good shape. Looks like we've got like over 50 people logged in right now. So I think that you guys are all seeing me and hearing me all right. My phone is right next to me and I'm not having any messages. So it looks like the technology is all working really well. So I want to go over the fundamentals of understanding the angles of the goal that we want you to attack and defend. The way I like to do that, guys, is if you look at this is the crease in the goal line, and you draw a line across goal line extended, and then a line straight down the middle of the field. You can see how that creates a T. And we talk about understanding how to attack and defend the angles of the T. Okay, so anywhere you are on the half of the field that you're going to defend or attack on offense, you can draw a T that in the middle of the field. And on this side of the T, we're always going to left foot. On this side of the T, we're always going to right foot. Okay, and I remember coaching the 2024 team. We had that great second day up in Rochester. That what we did to hold Edge to pull off that win against Edge, what we did really well defensively was just right and left foot really well. The on-ball defenders did a really good job on this side of the field of getting really high and upfield their men with their right foot. On this side of the field, they did it with their left foot. So, at the same time, fast forward to a couple weeks later when I'm coaching the 21 team against some of the top club teams in the country, these are all little things that we did really, really well. So I'm just going to go over that both from an offensive and defensive standpoint here real quick. So defensively, we like to talk about our, the guys that are going to get attacked the most are always going to be the short stick defensive midfielders. So, these are the players that we want to make a really good approach to the ball and play super high on their men, taking away top side, taking away the middle of the field. Okay, so if you can see the board clearly right now, this side of the field, if I get my right foot upfield, I'm going to force this midfielder down the alley. Okay, as we do that, we want to stay a quarter of a step behind that man. Okay, so as he's coming down the right alley, I'm going to ride and drive him down the right alley. The only time that I felt like the midfielders on the 24 and 21 teams that I was coaching got beat is actually when they gave up rollbacks. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to take away the middle of the field and force our man down the side of the field. Okay, once you get them going down the side of the field, you want to stay a little bit behind them. Okay, I think as competitive young athletes, it's a really difficult thing for you guys to grasp because you want to beat your man all over the field and you want to feel like you're just dominating them in a one-on-one situation. But when we're playing team defense, all we need you to do is take away the middle of the field, and keep them down the side of the field and stay just a quarter of or a half a step behind them, riding their back shoulder. Now, as you're forcing him down the side of the field, if he becomes a threat to score, we're able to slide. Okay, and most important, if he goes to roll back to the middle of the field, you're there to take away the middle. So as young players, it becomes really important for you to understand that you need to trust that your teammates are going to slide to you if they need to. Okay, so So you force your man down the side of the field and then let him run down the side of the field. Do not let him roll back, okay? Okay, so that's how we're playing deep midfield defense from up top. So I'll go over briefly what we're going to do in the same situation from behind, and then I'll talk a little bit about how offensively we'll want to attack those angles. Okay, so on a dodge from behind, if we're right footing here, right, and we've got the attackman and the defenseman that's playing on-ball defense on him, we want, as this attackman is driving up this goal line, we want the defenseman to right foot hard, take away the top side of the field. We want you to defend the top side shoulder. Okay, what worked really well with the teams that I saw that just kept it simple and did this well was the person that was hot. Let's say I'll draw a big X right there for the hot man. That person would be called hammer, hammer, hammer. That was the terminology that we used for that to make it just clear that you can take away top side and force the attackman to inside roll. Okay, he's calling that so that the on-ball defenseman has got the confidence that he needs to take away top side definitively. Okay, so if it's on this side of the field, you would be using your right foot and getting your stick upfield to your attackman's left shoulder to take away top side, so that the only thing they could do if they want to keep going to the goal is to inside roll. Okay, and if you do that well, as he's driving up above the goal line and you get upfield of him and force him underneath, as soon as he starts to turn his shoulder to try to inside roll, we're sliding right away. Okay, so the only way that on-ball defenseman is going to be able to do that with confidence is if his teammates are communicating hammer, 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 screaming that, so that he knows he forces the inside roll, that he's not going to force his man underneath him to the into a one-on-one with the goalie. If this defenseman who's defending the attackman driving up the alley, if he's trying to defend angle upfield and angle underneath, as his man is driving up the alley, this slide man, the hot man, becomes paralyzed. He doesn't know if he needs to slide to his top side shoulder or to his right or underneath. Okay, his top side shoulder would be his right shoulder on this side of the field. It'd be his left. If he's going top side, it'd be his left shoulder if the man's sliding underneath. So I saw that a lot throughout the course of the fall with all of our Sweetlax defenses. Is there'd be times where an attackman's driving on a defenseman from behind, and the hot man who's trying to slide and help is paralyzed. He doesn't know, should I slide upfield to stop this attackman from turning the corner, okay, or should I slide underneath to stop him from inside rolling? What we want to do is take the decision-making out of that equation for the hot man and just tell the defenseman on ball that we want you to take away top side definitively, force your man underneath, and we're sliding right away. Again, I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but the only way that on-ball defenseman is going to have confidence to do that is if he hears that hot man call, who's getting slide to help him, calling hammer, hammer, hammer. So he knows my teammate's got my back. If I force the inside roll, he's going to be there to slide right away. Otherwise, you leave this defenseman feeling like I'm going to force the inside roll and I'm forcing that guy into a one-on-one with the goalie. Okay, so that's a really pretty simple but concise breakdown of on-ball play and how we want the slide. How we want to defend the ball and then slide to the ball. So middies, like to recap that, from up top, we want you to really clearly take away the middle of the field. Okay, right or left foot your man to force them down the alley, and then we'll be ready to slide early to that. We don't want you, as your man drives down the alley, we don't want the midi that's on ball as he's driving down the alley to catch up and get parallel to him. If you get even to the ball here, okay, as he's driving down the alley and try to catch up with him like you're trying to beat him to the end line, then he's just going to roll back and sweep across the middle of the field on you. So we want you to make sure that you're staying a half a step to a quarter of a step behind your man so that he can't roll back. Okay? So on dodges from up top, we are taking away the middle of the field. On dodges from behind, we're taking away top side and forcing the inside roll. Okay? I'm going to clear off the board, and I'll go over offensively how we want to attack those angles. Again, just keep in mind, this was like a really simple, easy coaching point that I picked up when I was a young coach. That if you draw like a T, if you draw that T on goal line extended in the middle of the field, that you can basically know where you're right or left footing your man at every time. Okay, so as we move on from, and I'm getting some questions coming in on text message and on the Google chat here. What I'll do, if I see them come in, I'll try to address them, and if not, I'll send an email out detailing with some answers, or maybe we have a little follow-up webinar to go over some of the questions that are coming in as I go over this. Okay. So understanding how to attack the angles of the goal from up top as an offensive player now. I mean, the most important thing that I saw us do well at times was creating space for speed. Okay, and the way so if player X is faster than player Y, and you can run by your man, the defense has got to slide, or you're going to run by your man and get a shot off. And one of the things that we did not do a great job of at every age level was creating space for speed. Okay, so the term that we've been starting to use is wave if we want to sweep. Okay, so we've used wave to mean sweep, and I'll go over these right now. Wave would mean sweep. Race it is what we would use for alley dodge. Okay, and then I'll just go over what we called tilt it, meaning setting up the man with the ball to dodge out. You're setting up a dodger out of ball movement. So I'll start with the concept of like racing it down the alley, and this is a term that I picked up from Coach Shea at Yale, and it works at the highest levels of Division I lacrosse, and it works all the way down to recreation youth lacrosse at the youngest levels. And the idea of that is that we want to get an initiation dodge where we draw a slide. Okay, I'm just going to draw the middies on the field right now. Okay. If this midi is just faster than his man, we want to put him in a situation where he can just dodge hard and use his speed to run by his man. If they do that, the defense has got to slide to the ball. Okay, if this midi on ball defensively does a good job of forcing his man down the alley, and they slide from the crease. Okay, we're now in a situation where we've got the defense on the run, and we are 2 passes away from a really good scoring opportunity. Okay, so if this midfielder does what he's supposed to do and follows the dodge, and this midi that's on the crease pops off the crease, we're in a situation where we are 2 passes away from getting it to the man who's stepping off the crease. And what we would say is we want to race it from this midi. So we want him to dodge, draw a slide, and then pass, and we're getting the ball to the man at the step out. So we're trying to race the ball to the step out. And if the offense gets it to the step out man before the defense fully recovers, then we win the race. Okay? So if we're going to say race it, it means, all right, we're going to set somebody up for a good hard alley dodge and we are going to dodge hard down the alley and try to draw that slide. And whether we throw it through X, pass, pass, or whether we spill it back and roll back, we're going to be 2 passes away from getting the ball to the man who's stepping off the crease, whose man would have just been sliding. Okay, so one thing that I really want to encourage our midfielders and all of our offensive players to do is realize against good teams, you're not gonna score and get assists on initiation dodges, because they're going to slide and they're going to help to the inside, and you're not just going to be able to dodge and dump to the crease. So we want you to think about dodge, pass, pass, redodge. And I'll draw this up. Think about that. Dodge, draw, slide, pass, pass, and then we have a shot or a redodge. Okay? So if we get that initiation dodge in and we draw a slide, I'm going to draw everybody out on the field now. And let's say when we get into a 1-3-2 set, counting from behind, I like to count from behind because it's important to know how many guys you have at X. I feel like that's probably the most important position on the field to know on offense. So if we have our X attackman there and our lefty attackman here and our righty attackman here, and we have the midi with a pole, I'll draw him with a P. I like to put him on the crease and put the other 2 middies up top. Okay, so these guys are both short sticks right now. They're going to be quick to slide to short sticks. And then the pole that's off ball, he's going to want to get involved, and he's going to be quicker to slide because he's a pole and he's getting frustrated off ball right there. He wants to get engaged in playing on-ball defense, so they tend to be quicker to slide. So if we are going to race it from this midi, what that means is we are alley dodging hard from him and trying to draw a slide. We've got the adjacent attackman is going to be clearing through on the dodge. X becomes a front side adjacent outlet. The backside midi, okay, someone dodges away from you. You follow. That's almost something you do in almost any set on offense, almost every time. If someone's dodging or carrying away from you, you follow. If they're dodging and carrying at you, you get through. Okay? This righty wing attackman is sneaking backside, and then the midi, who's got the long stick midi, he's stepping off the crease to the step out spot, and his man is probably sliding there. So wherever we are on the field, if we dodge hard, we're always going to be 2 passes away from redodging from the exact opposite side of the field. So if this midfielder dodges, it's pass, pass, and then we got the step out. If he throws it through X. If he rolls back, it's pass, pass, and we're at the step out. So what I really had to work hard, and you guys, this I'm talking to our younger group right now, but when I talked to our high school players this fall, what I would like to tell them as college coaches, you could have 0 goals in a game, and you could think that you didn't play a great game in front of the college coaches. But what college coaches need as they put the building blocks of their offense together is they need middies that can draw a slide. Okay, they want middies to draw slides and then move it, and then the attack or off-ball middies are redodging 2 passes away. That's when you're playing great team offense. And some of the players on our high school teams that I talked to after the game, I'm like, yeah, you probably played the best game that you played all fall in that last game, and you have 0 points, but you had like 2 or 3 hockey assists. You drew slides and you gave the ball up, and college coaches are sitting there taking notes on this guy keeps running by people and drawing a slide. So we really need our top midfielders for you guys to buy into that. And we have the ability to play really good team offense if we have middies that can draw slides and then not be goal or assist selfish after they draw those slides. So we get it. If this midi dodges, again, think about this. He is pass, pass, and then we're redodging right at the step out. Or if he spills it back, it's pass, pass. And now this is a really difficult approach. Remember, if this midi right here drew a slide, okay, we're sliding here. Now the on-ball midi's got to recover all the way across field to the step out to be able to pick up the man who stepped out off the crease 2 passes away. Okay, so that is probably the most important thing that we need to do well offensively, is for our middies to be unselfish on initiation dodges. So I want you to think dodge, pass, pass, redodge. Okay. Okay, so that is just on your traditional alley dodge. What I want to go over right now is what we would call waving, or which wave is our term for sweep. Really important thing that we need to do, though, and I can't emphasize this enough, is we need to set guys up with good dodging space so that, you know, when they get into their dodge, they're able to get a good head of steam and they're able to dodge out of ball movement with really good angle. So wave is the term that we use for sweeping. So we've got the midfielder right here has got the ball. We want him to be nice and high and vertical, like up a little bit closer to the midfield line than they are the top of the box. Okay, and the midfielder that is opposite him, okay, is in a situation where he can clear through early. So if this middy's got the ball and he doesn't have good dodging space, we would want to say, you know, let's tilt it and wave. So he would, if we've got the righty attackman right here, and he passes it to this middy, so the middy is catching it flat, right, like at the top of the box right here. And he catches the pass from this righty attackman. If we call, you know, let's tilt it. Let's say this is, you know, let's say this is number 5. Like tilt it and wave from 5. He would pass it to this midfielder, and then he elevates and gets nice and high. Okay. And then this midfielder would pass it back to him and start to get under for him. Because when you sweep across the middle of the field, we don't want you sweeping parallel to goal line extended, okay? So if you look at that as goal line extended, we don't want your sweep to be like this. We want your sweep to be like this. It's got to be north, south, east, west, so that as you're getting to the pipeline, you can be running down the pipeline and have more angle to score. And I'm telling you right now, guys, especially our younger teams, if you guys do this well, you guys are the best lacrosse players in Florida, and we got a lot of speed in our midfield. If we do this well, you're going to be playing 100% better offense than you are right now. If we do this well, teams have got to slide to you. If they don't, you're going to make them pay, and you're going to score those unassisted goals on initiation dodges. Okay? So the key to doing this well, though, is by setting it up for a foot, so that the midfielder that's dodging, it just becomes a foot race between you and the man that's defending you. But we want it to be a foot race with really good angle for you to shoot. Okay, like an alley dodge is a foot race, but you run out of angle every step you take. So we really like to try to set our players up to sweep. Okay, what we call wave. The key for this is this dodger to get good vertical dodging space, and then for the front side adjacent middy, for you to clear through underneath and early. You want to try to cut behind the back of your man's head. Okay, if you don't do that, if you cut behind the back of his head, all right, so we've got this on-ball defensive middy. I'll draw him up as an X. And the man that's playing defense on you is right here, and he's an X. And you cut in front of him, he's able to see you and the ball at the same time, and he's in a situation where he can stay hot to slide, or he can switch on your man. I was coaching the 24 team in their championship game, real exciting game, last Sunday in the SoFlo Turkey shootout. And they pulled off a really exciting win in overtime, but we weren't doing a good job of this. You guys were cutting. I was trying to get some of our fastest middies to sweep at the end of the game, and you guys, the adjacent middy was cutting in front of this guy, and it was easy switches every time. If you cut under your man now needs to go with you and respect you, because he can't just let you be between him and the goal. Okay, so he's going to have to respect you and stay with you as you get under. Now when we sweep, there's all this room, and the slide is going to have to come from the crease, okay? So as we sweep north, south, and east, west at the same time, now this person's in a situation where it's a foot race, and if he beats his man, he's got a lot of angle to score if they don't slide. Okay, so when we call wave, we really need we need to make sure that we're clearing through hard. We're setting up good vertical dodging space. And again, to repeat myself, that person that's clearing through, you've got to clear through behind the head of the man who's covering you so that he has to go with you and get under. And look, I would say the exact same thing on our dodges from behind with attackmen. Okay, I'm just going to draw up the attack right now in a 1-3-2 set. And I'll talk a little, I know I haven't talked a ton about defense in the last few minutes. I'll go over a couple things defensively here too. Okay, so on a dodge from behind, if we've got the attackman at X dodging towards the right wing, saw this way too much. We've got this attackman just standing there and not clearing through, and now the defense can free double team down, and this attackman could be running by his man, but if this righty wing attackman doesn't clear through, the offense just dies and stagnates, and there's no space for that attackman who's dodging from X to try to go to the goal and turn the corner on his man. Okay, so this is just a really simple fundamental thing. What the attackman should be doing right now on a dodge from X, he's got to clear through and create space for the ball. Okay, this ex-attackman cannot drive on his man and try to go to the goal on him if this righty wing attackman isn't clearing through. On that, this lefty attackman is following the ball, so that if he does draw a slide or roll back, it's a pass, and this lefty attackman can redodge up the other goal line. That spill it passing drill that we did a lot at the mini camp, and the guys that played for me, it's one of the pregame stick work drills that we do. That's why that's so important. The ability to drive, bounce, roll back, and throw it to your teammate who's following you on that drive, and he catches and dodges opposite. Okay? So I want to go over one of the biggest problems and issues I saw between the middies and attackmen as they played offense, and I'll make a point defensively here too, is the front side adjacent middies weren't clearing through for the wing attackmen. Okay, so if we just draw the pieces of a 1-3-2 offense from behind up on the board right now, as this lefty attackman would be driving up the alley. If this midfielder isn't clearing through for him, the adjacent midi defenseman is going to be able to help down hard, okay? And it's a free double team if this lefty attackman is driving up the alley and trying to turn the corner on their man, okay? I know the 24 team that I coached, I think that's Bear Soper a lot on the left side. And when I had the chance to coach them the second day, we did a good job of getting this adjacent midi to clear through, and it made all the difference in the world, okay? And this lefty would drive up the alley. This midi's clearing through early. This midi's moving to the ball, and this midi's popping out. Now there's space for that attackman to try to drive and go to the goal against this man, okay? Conversely, I do think, let's talk a little defense right now. There were a lot of times where on this type of a dodge in some of the games, this lefty attackman is turning the corner and dodging underneath an adjacent player that didn't clear through. We can't ever let that happen. If we're playing good team defense and someone's dodging underneath the adjacent player, we've got to get a free double team down on that every single time, okay? Okay. Okay, so I'm not trying to say things in an oversimplified way, but I want to be really clear about this. The biggest frustration of mine watching teams play throughout the fall on offense, the biggest frustration that I had was not seeing adjacent players clear through. 2 critical rules on offense. If somebody is dodging at you, you have to clear through for them. Okay. Occasionally, you can, instead of clearing through, you set a pick, especially if you have a short stick. Okay. Someone's dodging or carrying hard at you, clear through. If you're not sure what to do, clear through. Okay. And then the second adjacent needs to be moving to the ball. If someone's dodging away from you, you need to follow. Okay. So if someone's dodging away from you, you follow them. If someone's dodging or carrying hard at you, you clear through for them. Okay. I'm going to talk right now a little bit about just very simply some transition defense, and then I'll talk a little bit about transition offense. But one of the biggest problems I had with the teams that I coached, and I kind of see it across the club landscape, is young players sliding upfield way too early in transition. Okay. So I'm going to set up your normal L fast break. So you got your lefty attackman, you got your righty attackman, you got the point attackman, and then you've got the midi coming in, and then you've got your defense in a tight triangle, right? I'm just going to draw you guys as X's here. What I would really like to see everyone do a better job of is holding longer in these situations. I think defensemen get excited. They see that midi coming downfield uncovered in a 4-on-4 or 4-on-3, I'm sorry, and they slide upfield way too early, and you get that triangle spread out way too much and create way too much space for the offense. Okay, so if this midfielder is coming down the field in a fast break, we want you to hold until he's 2 to 3 steps inside the top of the box. I would rather see a midi come down and you slide just a hair late and see them score from 12 yards than to see you slide, as he's stepping over the midfield line really early and everybody's getting spread out, and then it's just pass, and now we got a 2-on-1 on the goal line, and our goalie's in a situation where he's got to make a point-blank save. Okay, so I want to see defensemen. I want to see you guys hold super long on these 4-on-3s, especially when you see a trailing midi. Okay, just a couple of steps behind the midfielder starting, running the fast break. I want you to hold even longer there, and in some cases, just do a little show, and then don't go and hold. And I probably saw, I'd say on half of the fast breaks I saw this fall, I saw us going too early in situations where there was a midi, almost just right on the back shoulder of the midi that was leading the fast break, and we're sliding way upfield and creating offense for the other team. So we want you guys to just hold super long on those. Make teams beat us in 6-on-6. Okay, we'll go over these things a lot more when we get to in the lead up to our next mini camps and in the summer events. But we want to make teams beat us in 6-on-6. I think even if you probably look back on your own teams that you played on, most of the goals that are being scored in club lacrosse are happening in transition, in unsettled play, and on man up. The actual amount of goals that gets scored in settled 6-on-6 is extremely low. So the way that we ride and the way that we play transition defense, we want to try to put the teams that we're playing in a position where, if we're only giving up 2 to 3 goals a game in unsettled and in transition, and then if we make teams beat us in 6-on-6, there's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to score over 5 goals on us, in a 60-minute game. So I know I'm running out of time a little bit right now. Certainly a lot more that we want to talk about, and a lot more that I would love to and wish that we could cover tonight. What I will do is put together some notes and send out an email. I know I've got some messages coming in, from some players and some parents and coaches on the call. Um, I'll put together a thoughtful little written out reflection as well. And then I think what we'll be able to do moving forward is we'll be able to find a good webinar hosting program to where we can have more interactive team meetings. Like right now, this is more of a webcast than a webinar. I'm kind of just talking at everybody, and it's not a interactive kind of conversation. I think with the number of teams that we have on this right now, it'd be difficult to do that. But what we'll try to do is set up some webinars where I will run it with the coach. Really, the coach of your team would run it, and I'll just be on it helping along and adding my comments and thoughts. And then what we'll be able to do is, you know, talk on maybe Thursday night, have a webinar with the team before the game coming up that weekend, get the lineups organized. Everybody can know everything from midfields, groupings, to man up, man down. We can go over a couple things on the blackboard and be in a situation where our teams are really, well organized. We're putting you all in the best possible position to be successful. And we know our teams are really talented. We have the best players from all over the state of Florida, but we aren't able to practice as much as other teams that live closer by. And this use of, I think, webinars well in a team setting where they're interactive and players can even speak up and ask questions, and your coaches are on them running them, I think is going to really help us maybe negate that disadvantage that we have. So put ourselves in a situation where we've got the best players in the state of Florida, we're organized, extremely well coached, all on the same page, and realize our full potential at these events. So you guys, you younger players, you've got huge footsteps to follow in. Our older players are, it's humbling for me to coach that 21 and the 20 teams. I feel like I'm coaching a Division I lacrosse team out there. Okay, that's how talented they are. That's how hard they play. And when you guys get to that age group, we want you to be filling in those footsteps, going to the same caliber schools that they're going to, having as much fun as they're having, playing the game of lacrosse, playing with the same passion and intensity that they have, and and continuing on that legacy and tradition of what it means to play for Sweetlax, that they are all they're all setting and laying the groundwork for you all to follow in. So thank you for your time tonight. I apologize that there's not more that we can go over. This was a nice little first test of this technology, and we'll figure out the best ways to utilize it. Most importantly, help you young lacrosse players grow and develop into the best players you can be. Okay. So we sent out our summer schedules to everybody. We're finalizing some dates for mini camps. I'm going to be running some clinics and training sessions around the state too, so we'll keep everybody posted on that. In the meantime, hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving, and keep up the hard work in school, and we'll be in touch soon. Thanks.